Aloha, my name is Chayanee Brooks. I've been teaching here at Ka'u High School for the past 9 years. I'm a National Board Certified Teacher in English Language Arts, a KKP Complex Area Teacher of the Year 2023, and I'm currently a PhD student in neuroscience. In my research of neuroscience in learning and memory, I found one of the key ideas, which is called neuroplasticity. And neuroplasticity is the ability of the brain to make connection and remodify and reorganize itself based on the new learning experience. Knowing this mechanism, I find that it's important for me as a teacher to recognize and to embed the activities such as multisensory learning for my students in order for them to be able to learn to make connection better. And in my English Language Arts class, I see a need for my student to be able to make that connection between their life experience and the text. And so I do this through different activities for them to be able to engage with the text and make that connection with the character and empathize with them and to have a literary mind. So I would like to share with you some of the strategies and activities that I do with my students in order to create that sense of belonging and that confidence in making meaning with the text. First and foremost, I would like to make sure that my students have the sense of freedom in making the interpretation of the text. And so I do this by taking them physically outside of the classroom box because I want them to think outside of the box. So doing this would allow them to have that feeling that they are free to make their interpretation and unique understanding of the text, even though it doesn't have to be the same as others. And the first activity that we do, normally we will start with the activity that is called Multisensory Writing. So in multisensory writing activity, my students and I would go outside of the class and we would have with us a journal, a pen or pencil, and then first couple of minutes we just choose a place where we are most comfortable with, and we would sit and let the external stimuli, all the senses, the sound, the wind, and everything absorbed by all their senses. So they would write down and express those feelings, including their internal thoughts during that time as well in their journal. And doing this is powerful in a lot of ways because the students will now realize that their experience and their feeling, even though it's unique to them, they have a place to be shared and expressed. And another thing is that they will find the power of words, because later on when they come back and read what they wrote, they would be able to feel those feelings and those emotions once again. So it's a really powerful activity that I'd like to start my school year with. The next activity is called Reader Theater. And one example of this was when I took my class outside to read Othello. So instead of just reading the lines, they were acting out the characters. Doing this would allow them to have their whole body become the character that they were. And so not only reading it, but they embody the roles. And doing this, from my experience, the students can make sense and understand the text better than just reading the line verbally. The third activity is called reading activity, and it's independent reading activity, where we would pick a book and then we would go outside to read for 40 to 45 minutes, and then in the end we would come back together and share our reading experiences. And one of the powerful things about this activity is that the students, everyone has something to share, because going outside allows them to feel that freedom, and in order to make connection between themselves and the text that they've read. Some of the students are going to be reluctant at first to share their thoughts and creative ideas. But my advice to you for this would be to just allow them to have creativity in sharing the ideas. Some of them might want to share through writing. Some of them might want to create a song lyric or write a poetry based on something that they've read. So one student that I have went further and wrote a song lyrics and then performed in front of his peers. And it's just wonderful to see them grow in confidence, and I also see a reduction in fear of sharing their thoughts with each other. And it's like we create this learning community together where we get to celebrate each other's creation. And everyone a leader, everyone a learner. We is greater than me. Thank you, everyone.